Okay, so to get this law punishment tutorial video started, we're going to start with the most iconic move in Tekken overall, and that's Law's somersault kicks. Now he can do this in a variety of ways, standing. So many, I forgot the number. We're going to go over all of them because it's really important to know the frames because they do vary. Now, if he does one somersault kick, it is -18. If he does two of them, it's -26. If he does two hop kicks, another thing is that you can actually step the second hop kick, or you can choose to just throw out a jab and float him out of the second hop kick. It just, you know, if you can anticipate it, you know, those are some options that you have. So, this is his down 3-4, down 3 + 4, 3, and this is -14 on block. You know, simple launch punish for King. You can do a full combo. But as I said before, not everyone can launch at -14, so I thought it was important to go through all of his somersault kicks because some characters, they need to be at least -16 to launch, and I'm pretty sure there are other characters that need higher negativities as well. So this is his down forward. This is his down forward 4-3, and this is -15 on block. Now, one thing about this down forward 4-3 is after you block the first down forward 4, you can actually sidestep it for a higher damage launcher. First thing to come to mind is just a generic hop kick, which usually does around 30 to 33 damage. So it's not really, you know, a bad exchange or a bad idea to step this on block. Now this is a short string that he can do somersault kicks out of, and this is -18. It's half of his mix-up, which we're going to be going over shortly after we finish through the somersault kicks, but this is -18 on block, and that's simply what it is. So now this is the only safe way that he can do a somersault kick standing, and that's directly after 4. The notation for this is 4 up 3, and it's -10 on block. Now if you can anticipate it, you can sidestep the second hit and you can launch him if you have a 14 frame launcher, or punish it some way like that. But this primarily is it's a move that Law players use to bait out a launcher from you so they can punish you trying to launch punish them. So just one thing to remember, if you see a somersault kick directly after 4, it's only -10 on block. Now this is the way that gets me the most. It is his, I think it's up 3, 4, up +3, 4, and this is -18 on block. Another sort of tricky move that Law has, usually the up forward 3 will whiff, and you know, when you play Tekken, in your mind you kind of think like, okay, it's time for me to do something. Watch out, a somersault kick is coming, you'll get your chance. It's -18 on block. Now this is the last final way he can do it while standing, and this is directly after his Dragon Tail. Now the Dragon Tail itself is -33 on block, but one thing to note is that if the Dragon Tail whiffs for whatever reason, the somersault kick is only -8. And this usually happens when you raw tag in and the Law player tries to anticipate that with a Dragon Tail. So it's just one thing, you know, to remember, that if the Dragon Tail whiffs, it's only -10, so don't try to launch him because you could get punished for it. Now he can also do it while rising, and this is going to be while rising 4-3, and this is -17 on block. Just like most of his mids or highs that take place before somersault kick, this also, I believe, can be stepped. And there we go. So yeah, so you can also step this and punish it. Generic hop kick, 30 damage, 30+ damage. So that's an option, or you can just sit there and block it and launch at -17. He can also do this while crouched, and this is his 4-3. I mean, while crouched 4-3, and this is negative 21 on block. He can also do crouched 3-3, which is also negative 21 on block, and a little bit slower than negative 4-3. But it's good to know that it can be done both ways, because sometimes, you know, you can fall for the little trick and you don't want that to happen. So this is well crouched 4-3, and it's negative 21 on block. He can also do it out of a punch. I think it's out of a crouch cancel. The notation is well crouched punch up +3. It's not really smart, because usually the punch will push you back far enough so that's that the somersault will whiff, but you know, it can be done, so just a little note. Okay, so the next move we're going over is his slide kick, and as you can see, if you parry it, you don't get any sort of retaliation from it, but if you block it, it is negative 27. And basically, once you block this move, you want to treat it the same way you would treat back roll. So with Jack, I can do a while rising 4 into a small combo, or I can do back 3-2 into more of a fuller combo. But once again, it's negative 27 on block, and it definitely should be punished. Okay, so here's Law's down forward 3-3-3. Very similar to the down forward 3-3-4 that we went over, except it ends in a high. I personally think that it's good practice to be in a habit of parrying this move, but if you insist on punishing this move, this string to its fullest, you can do a very slow fuzzy guard, and it will make it so that you'll duck the high and also get up in time to block the mid. But once again, this is his down forward 3-3-3, and if you block all of it, I personally think it's neutral on block, but I could be wrong. I'm just guessing at the moment. So here's Law's 3-3. I wanted to just throw this in the video to show you guys that it's punishable. It's one of his moves that looks very safe, but in fact is punishable. I guess you can expect this move if you're dealing with a very mashy Law player, or a Law player that may just think you don't know what you're doing or what he's doing. So anyways, this is 3-3. Here's another move that's kind of tricky visually, but is also punishable. Just maybe not as punishable as it looks. This move is negative 12, but it is a move that looks as if it's launch punishable, so it's just one thing you might want to keep in mind. You don't want to get punished for trying to launch punish. Okay, this is Law's forward 3, and this is negative 12 on block. This is also another visually deceiving move. You can even see the hit analysis makes it look as though Law is safe, but in fact this move is actually negative 12. Here's Law's forward 2-3 string and his forward 2-1-3 string. They're both negative 13 on block. I'm assuming this is a combo filler. I really don't know what the application of this move would be, but it is negative 13, so it is punishable. Now that we're at the halfway point of the video, I'd like to take a small intermission. I put together a Law grab breaking tutorial montage, or montage tutorial. I think this video will be useful because most people can't break grabs on reaction, but just knowing the animation and the right break, I feel like is a step in the right direction. Okay, so hopefully you guys enjoy that little montage. Next thing we're gonna get into is Law's punch parry trap. So basically he gets a guaranteed 2 followed by a down forward 2 if you do not tech it. So you can see I just did it here. I'm gonna do it again. And he can get a lot of damage off of this. Now if you tech it, you can avoid it. So that's just one thing I really thought we should go over, is his punch parry trap. So just remember, you must tech it if you get hit with the 2 right after. Now here's another move some really loose Law players like to just throw. I think it's his forward 3-4, and this is negative 13 on block. The second hit can also be stepped to his backside for a high damage launcher. And you see with Jack, I'm doing forward 2, which is 20 frames. But the move overall is negative 13 on block. Now we're going to get into Junkyard, and I wanted to really just show you guys the first hit of Junkyard because it's the most important hit of Junkyard. You have to distinguish when Junkyard is about to happen to you, and so I'm just going to show it to you from both sides. This is on the 1-player side, and I'm going to show it to you on the 2-player side. And the reason why you need to distinguish when Junkyard is happening to you is because the absolute best way to answer Junkyard is by parrying the second hit. If you don't parry the second hit, you're forced to deal with the launcher / dragon kick mix up, and it's just a stupid mix up. Just go ahead, get your parry, you know, reference your little low parry combo, and make sure you punish them for Junkyard. Plain and simple. Parry Junkyard, distinguish the first hit. Oh man. And a lot of you'll see this a lot. You know, I think this is one of the most useful moves in this whole entire commentary is punching Junkyard. Remember, distinguish the first hit, low parry the second hit. Now, Law can also get into back turn, and there's 5 different ways he can do it. He can do this, which is, I believe, down back 1. Do not blow me up if I'm wrong about that. I'm not a Law player. He can do down back 1, which will immediately turn him. He can also do 2-2, which will put him in the back turn. And those are the 2 ways he can do out of you know, using punches and his elbow. He can also do it by kicking. He can do back 3 hold, and then he can do back 4 hold, and both of those will put him into back turn. Now these moves cannot be punished on block, but it's good to be able to distinguish them because of what he can do afterwards, because back turn is a pretty crazy setup. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's crazy, but it's definitely a pretty strong setup. So you just want to be aware of, you know, how he's getting in the back turn. And let's see how long it takes me to... Oh, and this is the way that only martial law can get in the back turns. DSS forward 2, I think neutral 2, which will put him in the back turn. Just another little way that a Law player can get in the back turn. Now once he's in back turn, it's totally different. He has a few moves that can be punished and some of them that are safe. So let's see what we got. So this is back turn low sweep, and this is, oh no, this is his back turn 4, and it's negative 13, and this is his back turn 3 somersault kick. This is negative 18. One way you can distinguish the difference between the 2 is Law spins to his, I believe, left or right, and he spins in opposite directions during both of those. So that's just one way you could try to distinguish it, but you know, one is negative 13, one is negative 18. Now this is his low sweep, and this is negative 15 on block. And it's fairly easy to react to. You know, you just Duck and block it. This is his, I think it's 2-2 from back turn, and it's negative 17 on block. Now this is actually safe. If he decides to delay between the 2-2s, it'll be safe. So if the punch gets delayed, it's actually safe. This is his back spring from back turn. I don't really know what the frames are on it, but you can step it. It is a mid. Now I did miss his back turn. I think it's 3-4 or 4-3, and that is negative 12 on block. Just a little side note. And this is his back turn 1+2, and this is actually +1 on block. On hit, it'll turn you around. Supposedly the turnaround is only useful against the wall, but it is +1 on block, so it is something to remember. And that's pretty much everything that you can do out of back turn. Once again, I did leave out the 2 mid kicks, which are negative 12 on block. Here's his forward 3+4, and this is negative 11 on block, and his sidestep 3+4 is negative 12 on block. Now I personally like to, when I'm practicing just punishment reaction time, use these 2 moves because they really, I guess, sharpen your reaction. One's negative 11 and one's negative 12. I also feel like it's really important to be able to distinguish the difference between the 2 of these moves, just because, you know, you don't want to jab punish something that you can, you know, get more damage from. So this is his forward 1+2 and his sidestep. I'm sorry, forward 3+4 and his sidestep 3+4. Now these are his, I think they're called legend kicks. Man, please do not blow me up if I'm wrong. On block, it's +1, but a simple escape to anything out of legend kicks is a crouching quick while rising 4, and it is more so useful against martial law, mainly because of his somewhat of a mix-up out of legend kicks. Now, unlike Forrest, he must do either a running kick or a punch. Now, the running kick can be ducked and launched for serious damage, but the punch, unfortunately, is uninterruptible and also unsteppable. So, as you can see here, I just stepped the kick. I'm going to go ahead and show you the punch. So this is kind of like the mix-up that he has. Here's his punch, and it's negative 8 on block, which makes it safe. It's not plus frames, but it also does leave you in a forced crouch position. Now you can parry this, or as I said before, you can use the easy escape, the quick while rising 4. I personally like the quick rising 4, but if you happen to know that you're playing against a particularly dumb law, then you can just wait for the running kick, because that's probably what they'll do. And you can duck it and get a nice launch, full damage, all that. So the last move we're going to go over is Law's while rising 1-2 or 2-1. This move is negative 17, and it's just one of those moves that does not look as punishable as it is. But this move is negative 17 on block, so you go ahead and launch that. You can also duck the second hit if you want to try more damage with the while rising launcher. And I guess this is really the last move we're going to go over. This is his while rising. It's 1 or 2. One thing about this move, if you're someone like King and you have a particularly short launcher, then oftentimes it'll whiff if it's blocked at tip range. So, you know, you want to be aware of how far you are from when you're blocking it. Other than that, with King, I'm just pretty much stuck with either back 3 or back 1-2. So just one little side note. And you know what? I found this is actually not the last move. The last move is his, I think they call it like something arrow. I personally like to call it his 1-inch punch after the Bruce Lee 1-inch punch. And this is actually negative 19 on block. This is another move that Law has. It's pretty deceiving on block. You would assume that it was plus frames just because that's, at least I did. I assumed that it was plus frames, but after putting together this video, I found it was actually negative 19. As you can see, King has some of the same issues launching it. as he does with his Laws while rising 2 or 1. Now this move can also be stepped, but it is very hard to do in reaction, and if you make a mistake in stepping it, you will be put into a full combo. This is one of Law's combo starters. And that pretty and I just there before I just demonstrated that players with very slow step cannot step this, so unfortunately Jack would be stuck in a combo. So anyways, that concludes it for the How to Punish Law tutorial video. Post a comment as to who you'd like to see me do a tutorial video on next. Based on your previous votes, I decided to do Horang, so I'm going to start working on a Horang punishment tutorial video. And I'm also planning on using different characters because I understand that everyone plays King and Jack 6. So that's just something to look out for. Feel free to share this video. If you liked any of the tracks, you can find all of them in my Tracks for Tekken Tunes playlist. And that wraps the whole thing up. It's your boy Punisher 1564 signing out. Peace.